Hi everybody, this is Jenn from Frugal Upstate. Susie says, I love the site. My question's silly, but I'm serious. With all that you do every day, do you have problems getting enough sleep in? Sometimes I'm exhausted just reading about your weeks. I need my sleep. I'm one of those people who needs a lot of sleep. And I do not function well in the evening as far as coming up with thoughts and writing. So I don't write in the evening. So that part I don't do. We're in bed by 10:30, 11 o'clock at the latest, almost every single night. And I get up at 6 o'clock. What I've found is I get the kids up for school at 6:30, and I just function better in the morning if I get up a half an hour before them, have my coffee, and have a little quiet time before the chaos starts. As for the organization, it's a constant battle for me. I will be honest. As a fellow blogger who tries to make time to do it all, I want to know how you make it work. How do you find the time to do everything? Do you have a schedule? Do you live by Post-it notes? Or do you just kind of know what needs to be done, and you do it as you can or when you can? And she says she's trying to find balance and accomplish everything that's necessary and enjoy her little people too. I have notes everywhere, calendars everywhere online, and in the fridge, and I stay up way too late. Maybe you have a better system. The way I get it all done is that I don't get it all done, to be frank. My house is frequently a wreck. And it's difficult because I have a much higher tolerance for chaos than my husband does. And so I love my husband dearly, and, I want to make him happy. I want to make the kids happy. I want to make the blog work. And so I feel constantly like I'm trying to juggle things to get everything in. I try very hard to keep the house at a level that is more than I would just on my comfort level, to try to make it as pleasant as possible for my husband, who works very hard supporting our family. But a lot of times there's dishes in the sink. There's piles of unfolded laundry for days in the easy chair in the living room, because that's where it congregates. The kids' rooms are most often a wreck. And I've got at least 2 rooms upstairs that are just in desperate need of organization. They're kind of the catch-alls. There's stuff piled up everywhere, and they're a wreck. And I just don't get that stuff done. And, a lot of times I'm working really, really hard to keep track of what's coming out. As far as the blogging part goes, I found that if I keep a spreadsheet of what I've got open that is due, and I'm trying to get ahead. I am trying very hard to write a few things ahead so that it's not as much. For a while, I was getting up every morning and writing the post for that day, and that is very stressful. So I'm trying to get ahead a little bit. But Denise, I really don't have a better system. I do in Google Calendars have a separate calendar that's an editorial calendar that I'm trying to plan things out. I've also found, as far as the blogging portion goes, that if I do a project, I take the photos, and then on a different day, I do the portion of blogging that includes uploading the photos into a post without any of the text around it. Then when I have time, that's sort of like, it's not scut work, but it's sort of something I can do while I'm watching TV or in the evening when I'm not thinking as clearly. And then in the morning or on a different day, I can sit down and write all the narrative. And for some reason, that seems to go better and faster for me than trying to take the pictures, upload them, move in that day, and do all the writing while I'm uploading photos. It just seems to work better. As far as the rest of it, as far as doing it all like, Susie said, you've got to remember that I don't do everything every day. I am not every day canning things and making cupcakes and, talking to kids about frugal living and out in the garden. When I write about it for you guys, I talk about what I'm doing that time, but I might not, those cool Halloween cupcakes, I might not make cupcakes again for months. It's not like I'm doing all that stuff every single day. And I've always been concerned that in writing this blog and telling people about things, that they're going to think that I somehow am perfect and that they're falling short. Trust me, you're not falling short. Everybody has to work in what they can, and what works for a solution for a while doesn't always. For example, I have not made my own laundry soap in about 3 months. I'm out, and I just can't. It's not that hard. It only takes a couple of minutes, but I got to drag out the food processor, and I've got to do it. And with the trying to can stuff and keeping up on the shopping and keeping up on the blog and trying to get the kids through everything for school and after school activities, I've just been buying cheapo laundry detergent. That's what I've been doing. There's different seasons to things, and I try to get what I can done in a day. I find that it goes a little easier if I segregate the writing days from the project days, because if I'm trying to, not that I don't throw a load of laundry in while I'm writing or whatever, but if I spend a whole day where I'm sort of sitting at the computer and doing that sort of stuff, and then I say, okay, and tomorrow I'm going to pretty much stay off the computer except for some of the social media, Facebook and Twitter and things I need to keep up on, and seriously work on the other things, it's a little bit better of a flow. But I'm not Superwoman. Honestly, trust me, ask my husband, who keeps telling me, if you were just a little more organized. Laura asks a question, and she says, somewhat related to Susie's question, do you have trouble turning off from your blogging social media work since your workplace for it's mostly your home? She says she has a different kind of work at home job, and she finds that's a problem. It's wonderful not having to commute to a workplace. On the other hand, I feel like I'm never away from my job, and that does make it hard for me to get enough sleep. Yes, that can really be a problem. Social media, because of its very nature, is an interactive thing. And so, I'm always on the phone. I found the phone helps me because in my particular field with Facebook, I like to keep you updated on little things I'm doing, and I can snap a quick picture, upload it to the Frugal Upstate Facebook page, and share something I've done in the garden, something I've seen at the thrift store, something I've seen at the store, and sort of keep you all up to date on sort of the frugal lifestyle without it taking a lot of time. However, I do find it hard because you can always do more, especially since I also do consulting. There's people I need to email, there's clients I need to pitch, there's things going on, and it is hard. It really is hard. And what I found is that when I can get myself organized enough and work Monday to Friday and really say, for the most part, I might get online, I might do a little Facebook, I might maybe when I'm sitting watching TV upload some photos or whatever, but if I can really make my work time when I'm at home alone and really make my family time more family time, I think it makes for a better experience for my family and for myself. And sometimes I really have to stop and remind myself that the reason I'm doing this job this way is because I wanted to be able to spend time with my husband, I wanted to be able to spend time with my children, and I wanted to be able to do things that I felt made our life better, like gardening and cooking and things like that. And if I become so engrossed in this part of it, the talking to you online, the writing, the travel, when I go to conferences and stuff, then I've lost sight of my goal. And you kind of have to constantly reevaluate that and look and say, hey, what am I doing? Because to be quite honest, I've got a master's degree in management with a concentration in logistics. I actually, when I first got out of the service, was interviewing around, and there's a mead plant near here that makes all the day planners. That's where right near where I live is where they print the day planners. And they were going to hire me as a middle manager. And I would make a heck of a lot more money going there for a full shift every day than I make online. And I actually probably spend more hours working online because, as Laura pointed out, I'm always home. I can always be doing it. So the reason I'm not somewhere else that I walk in and then get to leave and leave it behind when I leave and make a heck of a lot more money is because of the flexibility and because of the family, and I can't let myself lose sight of that. And it is a constant thing. I pray about it sometimes. I try to mention it to my husband sometimes. I try to keep a finger on whether the kid's behavior is changing a little because I'm not paying enough attention. And, sometimes I mess it up. Sometimes I screw it up. And sometimes I've got to reevaluate. And sometimes I realize that I've been ignoring my husband, or I've been ignoring the kids, or that I've been traveling too much. And, that's when you've got to reevaluate. So, I don't know if that helps. Other than to say, yeah, sometimes it's hard to turn it off, and it's something that you just have to keep your eye on, and maybe you've got to give somebody else a chance to be your reality check. If you guys enjoyed this, make comments, leave more questions, and I'll do it more often. It's kind of fun. So take care, and if you're just watching this on YouTube and you haven't been by my blog, make sure you stop by Frugal Upstate, www.frugalupstate.com. It's Frugal Upstate because I live in upstate New York rather than downstate being the city. And, come on by, share your thoughts, ask questions, and start learning about how to live a frugal life.